Tell me about this is the Goodyear house.
Yeah, and if we look to the east, you can see Otsego Lake, and there's a kind of a trail, more than a trail actually. It's a long area, 12 or 15 feet wide, that leads down to the boathouse and the lake, about maybe a quarter-mile away, something like that. In the background, you can see the Sleeping Mountain, which is across the lake on the east side of Otsego Lake.
Yeah, that's the lion, the sleeping lion.
They call it Sleeping Lion. It doesn't look very too much like a lion, but that's what it is. They call it. And we're right now at the Goodyear Mansion, which is the house that was here when we lived here. This is the north side of the house, with the porch, deck here, and so forth and so on.
It's beautiful.
And I spent many nights over here when I was a boy, because the Goodyears would go out in the evening. I would house sit so I could take care of the house for them when they were away. And we had a great tour of the Glimmerglass Opera House today, and it's a fabulous place. I mean, they've built up many buildings in that complex. There's probably a dozen buildings in the complex that serve the Opera House, the Glimmerglass Opera House.
That was donated by Tom.
And this was the piece of the land that was donated by Tom Goodyear that Yvonne and I met with when we were here. Tom was in the process of agreeing on that with the architects on how they were going to do that, and he contributed the land, not the money. That was from the Bush family.
Let's go look at the front side of the house here.
Yeah.
Proceed to the roof.
It's quite a place.
It's pretty posh.
Was this house over here to the left?
That was there.
That was there.
That is the guest house, I think. I think that was the. Yeah, that's the guest house. On the 4th of July, we used to get out on the lawn. Mr. Goodyear would officiate over a celebration of the 4th of July. They were very conservative politically and enjoyed doing this sort of thing. I got a picture on the front lawn with all ourselves and the other people that work for the Goodyears out there, posed in front of this house. We were actually on this lawn right here. House was in the background of the photo.
Spectacular.
Let's walk over here, Michael. You can see this house over here. Yeah, you see, see how extended this thing is. It's quite a place. This is where my father planted various things that we raised. This was a place where he had berries. He had planted raspberries, for example, and he even tried to plant some grapes there, but the weather here is so cold that it would kill the grapes during the wintertime. So this down here was, I remember working with my father to trim those berries, raspberries that grew down there.
What's this house down here?
That is the old stables. It was the stables when my father was originally working for the Goodyears, and they converted the stables into a garage, a 3-car garage up on top, the upper floor. I think down below is just storage now. They keep some machinery in there for the estate. This was here when we were here.
To Julep, our beloved pet dog.
1975, 1996. That was after my time.
It's quite a burial place for a dog.
See, this was the this creek ran through our backyard basically. It's down behind those trees. It leads down to the lake, and where we used to swim there's a kind of a point down there where the river, the creek, washed gravel basically into the lake, and made a point of land, a little point of land right at the mouth of this creek, and we swam there quite a bit when we were young, and then later on when we were here, we would use the boathouse and the docks down there to dive off of and go swimming there.
And we're going to go down to the boathouse.
Yeah, okay.
So we can drive down there.
We can drive down there, yeah.
Okay. All right.
Ice here.
Say that again. So what was this building?
This is an ice house.
Ice house.
So they stored blocks of ice, and they cut them in the wintertime on the lake, and then they would take them in, put them in here between sawdust, and keep them cool. And then when you want a block of ice for your ice box,
right,
you would go down and fish it out and carry it up to the house. I did that when I was a teenager.
Look at this thing. Is that there when you were here?
What's that?
Little statue?
No, that wasn't there. There's something new. I never saw that before. This is the lower area there. I got a picture of my dad standing by that entrance to the stable.
The stables.
With Jack, one of the Goodyear boys. And let's see, what was Bradley was her mother's husband. He was the one that got killed.
He was the one that was killed. So tell me the story again about Bradley. So this is the woman we're going to meet tomorrow.
Bradley's the one we'll meet tomorrow.
Bradley Goodyear.
And she was a child. Her mother was pregnant with her when we were living here in the 40s. And I can't remember quite exactly what year that was. I think it was like 42 or something like that. And she came back to stay with the Goodyears because her husband was in the service, and she came back here and announced that she was pregnant, and that she was going to have the child. He was overseas, and then he got killed. And she said, "Well, whatever he is, this is her mother said this. Whatever it is, boy or girl, I'm going to call him Bradley to honor my husband, my father, honor my husband." Yeah, that was it. That was her. This is the boathouse. We used to go out. They had a float before. We could go out and dive off the float. They had a 15-foot diving platform up on the top of it. We dived off of that boldly. And then over here they had a tennis court. That's all gone now.
This is the tennis court over here?
Tennis court.
This is the place to be. Right on the lake.
My dad planted into all kinds of vegetable crops like sweet corn and this sort of thing over in this area, which was very rich because the creek, as it came down, brought a lot of topsoil with it over centuries in length. And the Indians used to have a longhouse here. The Iroquois Indians had a longhouse out somewhere in the middle of this field where they kept fires burning all the time. And what was interesting about that was that it burned the soil. So when the soil was tilled in the spring, when you clean it up for planting, you could see this circle about 20 feet in diameter, which was from the fire that they had burned over maybe hundreds of years. And legend was, at least, that they had a longhouse, what they called these famous longhouses of the Indians, there, right near that fire, which they kept burning. And we used to find arrowheads all the time from the Indians.
Cool. That's really
Look at
cool.
this, is nice.
Check this out.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Look at this. Look at that boat.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
They had it rigged up so they could lift a boat out of the of the slip. You know, they
Right.
could put it up above if they had to.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's a Chris crab, isn't it?
Looks like one.
Yeah, I remember this. This is, they've changed they have, she said they have remodeled the interior. They took down the fireplace, the chimney that was on this face over here. It fell down when they were doing some of the remodeling. She said, well, we really don't need a fireplace.
No one used it.
Nobody uses this in the summer,
Yeah.
in the wintertime. This dock was here, but I think this has been replaced. I think it's all new.
Here's the front of the boathouse. So you could entertain up there.
You entertain. Well, they used to do that during the year. They would say, well, you can use it and have a party with everybody you want to down here. And they even let us go in the boathouse. They gave us the combination so we could go in on the combination lock and open it and use the boathouse to change and this sort of thing. They had change rooms in the back area there. And I dived off the top of this thing one time. It was I survived that one.
That's where Audrey got her skills.
Probably, definitely.
The genes from.
But we used to think we were doing pretty well to dive off this platform, the floating platform. They had two pontoons, you know, big floating thing. We used to dive off the top of that thing into the water. It's pretty deep here. It's probably about, I would say, maybe 20 feet deep. It's the lake is noted for being a very deep lake, mountain lake. You know. Now you can see the mountain.
And this is where your brother swam across.
This is where my brother swam across.
Is there? It looks like a little peninsula or an outcropping there.
There's a landing over there.
Yeah.
We can see a little bit of a boat or something, a couple boats. See the boats over there? I think that's the landing he swam to. And down here is where down at this end of the lake, you can see the golf club area. And we used to collect the golf balls down there out of the lake, thinking we were going to get rich doing it.
Now, is this Ryerson's place down here?
I think that we're seeing part of the Ryerson estate there, I think. I'm not
Yeah.
sure. He mentioned the name of the family, wealthy family in that area called Salvatore. And I remember that name very vividly from when we lived here. They're still there, apparently. The family's still there.
Very cool. What a great place.
Oh, yeah.
And that's
Another one over there.
the dock down here where it's land. It's their boat here.
The nature walk still here.
Yes, it is. So this is where other boats are. The nature walk there. go change clothes.
Nancy.
She's got to go change clothes. You're going to have to wait a while.
Wait, say that again?
She's going to change.
Oh, okay. I want you to meet these people, Nancy. Hello.
Hi, Nancy. I'm Michael.
Gunnar.
Nice
How
to
do you
meet
do?
you.
Nice to meet you. And this is Howard Ross. Hello.
Nice to
And
meet
he
you.
lived in a creek cottage when he was, well...
In a tree cottage.
Oh,
in a
from
creek
when I was-
Creek got it.
Oh, creek cottage.
Creek,
Creek
not the tree house.
From 1938 to
36 to
36
46.
to 46.
10 years.
Huh.
Well, it's way too complicated. Is she ready? She can pick that ball up and totally have no idea what's going on. But she, as far as protein goes, pretty good.
How does the southerner adjust to the northern Arctic location of this?
Well, somebody asked me the other day, they said, when are you going south? I said, approximately 7:15 January the 7th. And I go south again. And I might get Bradley to Mobile for a month. See, all 5 of my grandchildren are here. And so it's hard to get grandmothers to leave their grandchildren.
And your children too, are they up here living?
Yes, well, Jeanette lives next to us.
Yeah, that's right.
With
Yeah.
3 children,
Yeah,
including little Bradley, a girl.
yeah. You got a big family, actually.
Yeah, and then Suzanne, who lives in Darien, she comes nearly every weekend. She got twin boys, those are 5 of them. So it's hard to get Bradley to leave.
And their name is what?
2 little boys, one of them is Sept, McAdoo.
Yeah.
His name is
Yeah, that's the last name. The last name is.
McAdoo.
And your last name is what again? Smith. Oh, that's a simple one.
But, they come up here a lot. Suzanne does. Her family.
Spot on earth here, practically.
And of course,
the lake over there.
the kids love it in the summer. Boat down,
Oh yeah.
water sports all day long, every day. Summer's just winding down, really down. Last weekend kind of ended summer.
All right.
Okay, well you've got to come back now.
This is Mr. Goodyear.
Okay, we're driving. So we're driving past the, so there's the croquet
Court.
court. You have to have a croquet court. We're gonna go down here left,
Right.
right?
Right. Let's go right.
This is the guest house.
This is the guest house. They added on to that. They added a wing over this direction after we left. And now there's one of the barns that we used to use, right over the red barn. The next 2 buildings we used to use those. One of them was a canning house, and we canned food in the summertime.
That little one?
That was just
Like an outhouse?
outhouse or something, storage area or something. This is the barn that we use. We raised chickens in that barn. And left the lower level, we had it open so we could use it as a garage.
Uh-huh.
We could park the car there, and we had to park it there in the winter to freeze up. And this was the Dries house. Noel, that must be his car. Noel Dries was the son of one of the chauffeurs, and he became friendly with the family. He sort of like, I mean, his father died. The original Frank Dries died, and Noel became a school teacher. And he used to come back here kind of like at the, I don't know what's the right word, the generosity of Tom, and stay here on the weekends, enjoy. He lived someplace down like Onion or something like that. She said he's going to be here tomorrow, and we'll look him up. And this is the house we lived in, the one you can see it's kind of yellow. It was a different color when we lived there. These trees here my father planted. These are apple trees. We used to come in, there's the entrance from the highway, from Highway 80. And we used to come in and turn left and come around past the house right here, and this is the entrance to it. That was the back entrance to it over there. In pretty good shape, I think.
Yeah, it's cute.
No losing that.
Yes.
Well, we weren't in a slum, I'll tell you that, Michael. It was a really nice home. It was warm, had a central heating, you know, and everything was pretty nice after we were doing.
That's great.
My mother was a little bit like Lisa. She said, they're going to have to paint this place before I move in. And they did.
Yeah, that's great.
And my father built that entrance on the back entrance of the house. We had a kind of a concrete deck over on that side where we would enter, and I guess it was the utility room or something.
It's a little two-story house. Is it two-story?
It's a two-story house. Yeah.
Does it have a basement?
And it had a basement. Yeah. It's got a full basement. It's grown up immensely since we lived here. There were trees over here, as tall as that one right there, the tallest one. And they've all gone. Most of them have gone away in the last 10 years. But there were 4 or 5 of those great big trees. These are all new. These things are completely new trees that didn't exist when we were here. Although that fence did exist. That fence, that wooden fence.
Let's go down to the boathouse.
Yeah, let's do that. So I haven't been in this house since 1946.
1946 was the last time you were here?
That's the last time I was here, yeah. I guess this was the dining area and this was the kitchen. Yeah. Hello.
Hey,
Just checking the house out a little bit.
how are you?
Yeah. I won't bother you.
That's okay.
Yeah, this was the back door. My father built this little addition on the thing when he was here. And he built this toilet. There's a toilet in there, isn't there?
Yes.
That's what I thought, yeah. Remember they added that on when I moved in. This doesn't look like anything I remember. See my bedroom here.
Your bedroom is upstairs.
Yeah. I shared this with my younger brother with 2 beds, and my older brother stayed in this room in here. My sister was away at college all the time, and we lived here almost. Yeah.
Let's see.
And this was the third bedroom. I think that this was the one my sister lived in. She stayed in that one, I think. My parents were here, I think. No, it's the other way around. That was my parents' bedroom. Pretty civilized.
Yeah, very nice house.
Pretty civilized. My father created flower beds for my sister. She loved flowers and growing flowers, and so a couple of the lawn areas she had tilled them up and made planting areas for flowers.
That's great.
Yeah. Just instead of going down here. Come in now. Let's see. All right, to the porch, yeah.
So good memories from.
It's a lot of big memories, Michael.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that. Yeah. We had some chicken coops down below in this lower area down here. I think they're all gone. We had a granary. We kept grain for the chickens, and then we had two other buildings There were 3 buildings in all, a granary, and there was a small chicken coop, and then there was a small, there was a fairly decent sized chicken coop that we used and raised chickens while we were living here. It was a cash crop, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. We raised them when they had food rationing in the country during the war. And people would come by and buy these things kind of secretively. They
By the chickens.
chickens, yeah, for food. Because they couldn't get meat. They were rationing everything. Everything kind of meat products and so forth.
Right.
This is a nice room here.
Was there stoves in there when you were here?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, that's not. That's an electric.
Actually, they have a. Well, I see what they did. They fenced the yard at one point in time. That's new. This goes out to the highway out here. Yeah. Well, the one thing they've done, you gotta give them a lot of credit, is they have really kept the estate up nicely.
Yeah, it's just beautiful.
It's not run down, you know.
It's well maintained, remodeled.
That house is really very attractive, you know, don't you think? I mean, it's very warm, kind of a warm feeling in the house. It's not a cold furnishings.
Right.